Hey YouTubers, so today I'd like to take a look at a basic endgame. The endgame is king and rook versus king, and this happens all the time in the end of the game, and you would be surprised at how often a beginner or even a decent player will either take forever to checkmate the opponent or flat out won't do it within the 50 moves that you're allowed. So, here, quick sideline. I was actually playing in a tournament, and one of my friends ended up in this position, and it took him 70 moves or something to checkmate. And so, because of the 50 moves without progress rule, he drew this game, which is humiliating. So, this video will hopefully show you how not to do that. So, if you're white to move, you would go rook to d5. The idea being that when you play rook to d5, what you end up doing is essentially taking this 5th rank and cutting the opponent off. So now the opponent only gets, these squares over here and backwards, all up in this area over here. So at this point, if you're the opponent, maybe you attack the rook, at which point white can simply, let's say he swings his rook over this way. And now black's just going to continue chasing the rook. The white king can follow the black king for a minute. The white rook will pop over to the other side of the board when it's attacked. And now the black king will go. And the white king will go. The idea being that you want to make the black king move into a position like this because it's very, very, very bad for the black king to do that. So at this point, the black king will come over. Here, I'll show you what I mean, actually. That was bad. If the black king comes here, the white rook can come there, and it'll hit the 6th rank. And after hitting the 6th rank, the white king will also be controlling these 3 squares in front of the black king. Therefore, the black king has to shoot backwards to one of these 3 squares, at which point you've made some progress. And the idea being that once the black king runs out of room to move, the game's over. So if you're black right now, say you pick the route going for the rook, white can simply come put you in opposition. And now if the black king goes this way, white will just kill a turn and then chase the black king. If black comes towards your rook, you'll just put your rook on the other side. And then once he gets chased, eventually he'll run out of room, he'll have to come back. And then the same position we were talking about earlier. Rook comes in, hits the file, and the king controls these 3 squares in front of the opponent's king. So the opponent has to go backwards. So now the opponent comes backwards a rank, you come forward. If he comes this way, we can just do a little something like this. The white rook will come over, black king will come over, and he will get chased. And eventually, when you've hit the back of the board and you've hit the side of the board, the black king has to move into checkmate. So as you can see, same position, except for this time the king has no backwards to go to. Those 3 squares are controlled by the king. The rook hits down this length here, controlling these 3 squares as well, and sure enough, the black king is in trouble. In fact, he's done. So, this is how you checkmate with a rook and a king, and hopefully this is helpful to you. Alright, take care, YouTubers.